A big game for the Cats tonight with a national audience, and it wasn't decided until the final minute. There were worries about traffic before the game, but things appeared to move smoothly around the stadium, what UK fans told us tonight.
I truly have a problem with this.
Why some worry a new high school being planned for Scott County may not be able to offer sports when it first opens.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good evening to you. The UK football team hoped to make a statement tonight, the first Thursday game ever at Commonwealth Stadium, and it was against a traditional SEC power, Auburn. The game wasn't decided until the very end. Our Brian Milam joins us now with highlights and tonight's top story. Brian?
The UK fans poured into Commonwealth Stadium for the first Thursday night football game in 76 years. Auburn, the opponent. Auburn scored first. And then the Cats, they get the football, and what do? How about Boom Williams? Watch him shed the tackle, stutter step. He bursts it down the field, 60-yard pickup. He's going to get knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. The very next play, what do? You give it to the guy named Boom. He's going to muscle his way in for the touchdown. We're tied at 7 apiece. Now, after driving the football down the field, Auburn goes to the Wildcat formation. UK's always struggle with this thing. Kerryon Johnson runs it in from 6. Tigers up 14-7. UK trailed 23-10 at the half. Then in the third quarter, the Cats get going. They move the ball to the 6. It's Mr. Boom again. Boom Williams stretches over the goal line. That's a touchdown, 23-17. UK right back in it. Kentucky comes down the field and connects. Patrick Tolles, Jeff Badette. Pick up of 27 yards. It's down to the 2-yard line. It would lead to a touchdown. Kentucky gets the ball back. Down 3. Last chance. 4th down. And Patrick Tolles takes the sack, going nowhere fast. A gut-wrenching loss. And it's, Amber, it's another one of those what could have been games. Auburn wins at 30-27, grabs its first SEC win of the year. Kentucky falls to 4-2. So Auburn gets that first win. UK so close again to getting what many consider a signature or statement game. I'll have much more coming up in sports.
All right, Brian, it certainly was a tough one. Thank you. And that game didn't end the way, of course, that fans hoped it would. But many of them we talked to still had fun tonight. Going into the game, some worried that traffic around the stadium would become a problem since the game was on a weeknight. Monique Blair continues our team coverage from Commonwealth Stadium.
Several Lexington police officers are out here right now at the corner of Alumni Drive and Nicholasville Road to help ease any traffic congestion as the thousands of UK fans leave disappointed tonight after their loss to Auburn. But the disappointment comes after a full day of excitement leading up to this very anticipated game. The guesses on what the score would be came in early Thursday.
Cats by 3.
And it seemed every UK fan I talked to believed the same outcome.
And we do have friends that are from Auburn, so we get to rub it in on them.
We got a great football team this year. Auburn's beatable.
And then there were a few Auburn fans who trickled into the tailgating excitement.
Well, I'm hoping that Auburn wins the game.
And even though Auburn won, UK fans tell me they were not disappointed in how their team played.
And I think their offense was a whole lot better than what it was last week. And I think their defense is improving.
Going into the game Thursday, many people expected a traffic backup. Even Lexington police had extra hands directing cars and fans on foot. But UK spent about a year working on the traffic and parking plans for Thursday's game. Roy Jasper says he didn't have a problem coming into the game, but it was leaving the game that caused him concern.
The night was 45 minutes getting out of here. They need to have a double lane traffic coming out of here. You know, they spent all this money on this roundabout. They should have double laned this thing and forgot about the roundabouts.
Now there is quite a bit of traffic congestion out here at Alumni Drive and Nicholasville Road quite a few minutes after the game has ended. But drivers tell me it's really not much different than it would be on an ordinary home Saturday night football game. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
UK students and staff had to move their cars from around 6,000 parking spots around Commonwealth Stadium to free up spaces for tailgaters tonight. Well, the sunshine and mild temperatures felt good today, but some much cooler air is on the way to the Bluegrass. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell joins us now with an early look at the forecast. Big change coming.
Yeah, big time tomorrow as you get out and about during the afternoon and evening hours. It's going to be a whole lot cooler. A different weather world, as will likely be in the low 60s. Today, though, we got close to the 70s in many spots, and we did get there for a few. Changes are happening out there right now, and you can see them on Defender with these showers that are working their way through the area. That's some of the energy dropping in and changing things up for us, and that's going to advance that cooler air mass into Kentucky tonight. And then tomorrow is when it really gets a hold of the area. Let's talk about showers first of all, though. We've got a little bit of action there right into Somerset. Burnside getting in on some light rain as well. Our hour-by-hour high-resolution radar taking most of that rain out of here during the overnight, still holding on into southern and eastern portions of Kentucky. So stray showers down there. The rest of us are just really cloudy overnight and then getting in on some of the wet conditions as it looks like again to the south. But the cool stuff comes our way by 5 o'clock tomorrow. We're only at 60 degrees. By the way, we were around 71 today. We'll have a complete look at the hard freeze potential coming up this weekend in just a few minutes.
New tonight, police tell us they have found the other two persons of interest in the murder of a man at a Pulaski County rental cabin. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says they found Cara Bell and Rexel Brown this afternoon while doing a home inspection at a home in Monticello. Both have been taken to Pulaski County for questioning. Police say the victim, Danny Poor, was shot to death last weekend. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office arrested a third person, Jesse Brown, and charged him with murder on Tuesday. Also new tonight, Lexington police are searching for a man who robbed a store at gunpoint. It happened just after 8 tonight at the Tobacco Zone on North Broadway. Police say a man walked in, pulled a gun on the clerk, and demanded money. After getting some cash, he ran off. Police say the clerk was not injured. A new high school is scheduled to open in Scott County in the fall of 2017, but a Board of Education committee says the school won't have enough money for athletic programs when it's supposed to open. So tonight, the school board discussed some possible options. Garrett Weimer has the story.
Things got heated at times at the board's work session as they discussed the future Great Crossing High School and whether or not the school could afford to have athletics when it opens.
I truly have a problem with this.
Under the current plan, Great Crossing would be built in phases on property beside Elkhorn Crossing, but a gym would not be part of phase 1.
But you know what? It's what we can afford to do. And we cannot wait until we have the money to do the full high school, because we will be waiting until 2000, whenever.
A committee found that a lack of other options likely means the school could not afford to have extracurricular activities when it's scheduled to open in August 2017.
But in my opinion, my personal opinion, and I will vote this way till the cows come home, we don't have a high school until we have athletic programs. We're in business to educate, but there are so many kids that somehow are just hanging on in our district because of the opportunity to play football in the afternoon or soccer or whatever.
Conway emphasized that the committee made just a recommendation. The Board of Education has not made a decision. He says moving forward, they would have to find ways to make it happen because it wouldn't work with the facilities and fields that they have right now. In Scott County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Conway says they would need to look at all possibilities, including corporate partnerships and sponsorships. The next board meeting is scheduled for a week from tonight. New tonight, a federal audit found state leaders had trouble making sure everyone who bought discount health insurance plans on the state's insurance exchange met requirements. The audit claims officials didn't always properly verify the identity of some applicants or if they were eligible for minimum essential coverage. But that doesn't mean ineligible people bought plans because the state had other ways of catching problems. State leaders say they disagreed with the audit. They claim any problems with Connect have now been fixed. Tonight, some leaders in the community gathered to discuss ways to close the achievement gaps in Fayette County schools. While 70% of Fayette County schools showed an overall improvement in state test scores compared to last year, 24 schools were still listed as needs improvement. A panel at Shiloh Baptist Church said more needs to be done to make sure all students succeed.
Not only celebrate our success, but also look at what we're not doing for all students. And so the community has a responsibility and the schools have a responsibility to teach all students.
Panelists suggested addressing the mental health of students earlier and making more resources available for students who have low test scores. Tonight, a storm near Los Angeles caused flooding and sparked some dangerous mudslides. The mud shut down streets and even buried some cars. The ground was dry from a historic drought and wildfires in recent years, so it didn't take long for the mudslides to form. Some homes were also damaged. Bulldozers were brought in to clear mud from some of the streets. So far, no injuries have been reported. Tonight, police have charged a driver with murder following a deadly crash in Perry County. It happened early this morning on Old Highway 80 in the Avawam community. Police say 22-year-old Bobby Snell was driving drunk when his SUV crashed. They say one of the passengers, 18-year-old Caitlin Simpkins, was thrown from the SUV and died. A woman who lives nearby says she tried to help.
I said, you need Jesus, and began to talk to her, and we rolled her over on her side, and tears become rolling out of her eyes.
Two other passengers in the SUV were also injured and flown to UK hospital. Police charged Snell with murder, assault, and DUI. Tonight, a former Berea police officer has been arrested after a 7-hour standoff at his home. Police say overnight, Harold Hill barricaded himself in a home on Raven Drive in Berea with his wife, son, and grandson. Police say when they arrived, Hill fired shots at them. At one point, police say his family members left the home, but Hill refused to leave. About 9 this morning, police say Hill finally walked onto his porch and surrendered. Neighbors say it was a frightening experience.
Well, in 17 years or 20 years roughly, you know, nothing ever happens out here. We're a quiet neighborhood, and this is a cul-de-sac. You know, nothing happens on a cul-de-sac, so to speak.
Police say no one was injured when the shots were fired, but bullets hit a home and some vehicles. Police charged Hill with 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer. Daily fantasy sports website suffered a setback tonight. Nevada's Gaming Control Board has issued a notice saying sites like DraftKings and FanDuel can't operate in the state without a gambling license. The board told both sites to stop offering contests to Nevada residents immediately, but the sites can apply for a license. Investigators and regulators around the country have been looking into the sites in recent weeks. A new app has been unveiled to help people going to games, concerts, or other events at Rupp Arena. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, the Rupp Arena app has been available for months but was officially unveiled today. Users can look up directions to the arena, see a list of upcoming shows, and buy tickets. The app will also connect users to dozens of businesses near Rupp Arena. And if you can't make it to Keeneland for the Breeders' Cup, there's another option. The Kentucky Horse Park will be offering off-site wagering and simulcasting of the races at Keeneland, including those of the Breeders' Cup from October 29th through the 31st. Drive-through wagering will also be available at Alltech Arena. The Horse Park will be hosting the CP National Horse Show that weekend.